Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 311. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
I just have to say, it is episode 311. Just want to note that. Famed alternative rock band, 311. Love them.
Wait, what? What? Is there a rock band called 311?
The rock band called 311, yeah. Which
I've never heard of them.
I think they got their name.
Are they old?
Yeah, they're like 90s old. They're like early 90s old. Before they hit it big in like 95 or 96, I think, with their like third album, maybe.
Okay, you got to talk just for our younger audience. You got to speak console talk. Like 95, that was like the Saturn, right? Like
yeah. Like early PlayStation Saturn, right? The Bit Wars were alive and kicking. Yeah, there you go, to kind of bring it all back together. Yeah. I just wanted to note that. Episode 311, man. 311 episodes. That's crazy. Okay. But right. I'm good, man.
Well, what's going on? What's going on, man? Like with you, because I know with me, I got, you've talked over like last year all about your home renovations with your deck. Yeah. You can build in a deck and stuff. Mm-hmm. I already had a deck that kind of got damaged during the storms, and we had some storms here in the Northeast. So
lots of rain, high winds, and all that. Yeah.
You know what? Screw the rain. It was all wind. It was all wind. It was mostly wind.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so terrible, man.
I know. I gotta put some money into my house. That's the troubles of being a homeowner. So that means I am not going to PAX this year. I can't afford it. Got to make sure.
Damn.
The house is up to par. So not going to PAX this year.
I would say
didn't know they were even. We didn't believe that they were going to actually have a PAX.
Well, yeah, it got pushed, and then it was still like, I don't know. But yeah. Oh, that sucks, man. I would say that the streak is broken, but technically they had it last year, and we didn't attend. It was because it was digital only, so we didn't see. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff there, but I don't think there was like. It's better to be there and to see the people and hang out, play the games in person and all that, right? Because otherwise it's a bunch of trailers and talks and maybe some online games and some online tournaments, but it's different. So I'm going to go for a day, all right? Our friend Anthony is going to go. We're going to go drive up for the day and then, come back the next day. So we'll get a little bit of it. I'll definitely rep Rated G hard. So if you see me out there, if you see one half of Rated G up at PAX, feel free to say hi. We'll give you some stickers, all the good stuff. So, okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited about going to see who's there. Hopefully Sony is back with a booth, because the last time we went, There was a big open hole in the middle, and Sony was like, "Nope."
Well, we don't know.
And they paid
for
for that
if,
space.
Well, we don't know if Sony, Nintendo, or Microsoft are going to be. I looked at some of the vendors, and they weren't listed, so we don't know if any of the big dogs are going to be there.
Oh yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I really like playing the indie stuff a lot more anyway, because you hear about all the big hits and whatnot, and usually they'll put out demos that you can just download on PlayStation or Xbox or PC or whatever. So there's not really too much you would be missing from the big boys, surprisingly. Even though they have a lot of stuff, but all like the indie stuff is really where it's at. And they
what sucks? I wish I can go, but all of my money, attention, and time needs to go into getting home base in order, right? And then next year we can go back full force, go all 4 days, and just kill it.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, next year's gonna be good.
We have an awesome show this week. Coming up, we're going to talk about the Epic launching their Unreal Engine 5 finally, right? And Max Payne is making a comeback. But before we get into any of that, let's begin with the Wii U getting a new game coming soon. It's called
Just Dance 2023?
No.
Oh,
well,
sorry.
You would. My collector heart. Thanks God it's not Just Dance 2023.
Okay.
That's another $60 on a brand new Wii U game I'll never play. So, but no, it's called Pad of Time, and it's pretty much a 2.5D platformer that's in the same style or aesthetic as like Paper Mario. Right? It has that same like aesthetic. And I think the cool thing about this is, I don't know if this is like a stage or a mode, but it has like a Game Boy mode where it makes you feel like you're playing on a Game Boy with the diarrhea green background and everything.
Green, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So they have it. I couldn't. They have it playing. They actually put out a video where they have it playing on the Wii U, the Switch, and the Steam Deck. And it launches on the. I don't know when it's coming to PC, which obviously is the Steam Deck, but it's coming out on the Wii U and the Switch digitally April 13th.
Nice.
That's a game that I honestly think. I mean, it's a cool indie game that I would want to buy on limited run, but unfortunately,
do you think there's going to be a physical?
Not for Wii U. Not for the Wii U. I know for Wii U they had to get. Remember, if you wanted to get a physical Wii U game in, you had to get sort of like those orders or something like that with Nintendo at a certain time, and then they would allow a physical release of that game. Or some sort, right? Because the only Wii U limited run game we got was Axiom Verge.
That's right, and that was contractual obligations of even why that came out. So, they would have, they were kind of pot committed. They're like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and do this, even though the Wii U is like essentially over. But they made that happen. And yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. There was a lot of negotiations that had to happen for that game.
Well, if you think about it, we haven't had a lot of limited run Wii U or 3DS games, right? I think we had like 1 or 2 3DS games and definitely only 1 Wii U game. They made a deal with Xbox. We haven't got any Xbox games.
Yeah, surprisingly, like, where's that at? So, where's the Cuphead physical? Cough, cough.
Yeah, that's, we don't know if that's limited run. That may just be like an actual,
I mean, how many
physical release?
How many Xbox games haven't been released physically? That's the question.
Psychonauts 2.
Okay.
Psychonauts 2.
Psychonauts 2 and
Cuphead.
Yeah.
That I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there's a few. I mean, Tunic is Xbox console exclusive. There's no physical for that either.
Right.
I mean,
but that's not made by Microsoft though, right?
Neither is Cuphead. Technically, Cuphead
well,
is not made by...
Microsoft helped fund it.
Well, Cuphead is still not a first party studio, right? Like it's
MDHR.
I forgot the name of the studio, but yeah,
MDHR. Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah. But those are the only 2 games I can think of. Put those out. We want them.
Well, I would love to have a cup. I mean, we should be getting a Cuphead release.
Well, all the DLC's out, I think, for it, right? And that's what they were waiting for.
We were only waiting
like,
for the
we wanna
DLC.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is only fair. All right, I got to shift gears a little bit. It's only fair because we've showed the PlayStation 3 with this. So I haven't seen any Nintendo consoles like this, but there is an Xbox infestation, okay, of the PS3. I think we were like maybe like 5-6 weeks ago. We had a PS3 where they showed the PS3 was just like riddled with roaches, right? It was like a GameStop system that was sold, used system, and the person took it home and it was filled with roaches. And I said, before GameStop takes it in, any console, they should at least open it. I'm not saying dismantle it completely, but open the shell just to see how dirty it is or if it's infested
Ideally.
with any.
Ideally,
right? Like, you have a huge box. You put it in the box. You open the shell, see if there's any, and shake it out and spray the condensed air just to see if anything will come out and crawl out, right?
Yes.
And then you can control that in a big, huge box, right? This wasn't a GameStop purchase that I know of. It was just a viral video of someone showing when they opened their Xbox One that it was infested with ants, like literal ants. I've never seen so many ants in one place. It was crazy.
I have to say this. I was actually talking to somebody else about this. This is the best infestation you could ask for, right? You don't want an infestation, period, right? But if I were to pick any bug, I will take ants. Right? Right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right? Like, because spiders, termites, my God.
No.
Roaches?
I'll take spiders. I'll take spiders. I'll take a term.
No, you don't want termites.
I own a house, so I'm kind of on the fence with termites. But I'll take spiders.
Spiders aren't too bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them. I'm not like crazy, but I'd rather. I don't know. Yeah, spiders, ants, maybe on the same level. Yeah. Yeah. Better than silverfish and roaches and whatever else. Like, ugh.
Oh my God! I take anything over roaches. I'll take anything over roaches.
I'll
take anything over roaches. I'll even take termites. I'll take anything over roaches.
I'm instituting a policy in the Rotino household. Any new console that comes in has to immediately be opened and checked for stuff.
Yeah.
Because I had that with my old Nintendo. Granted, everything was dead, which is good.
You did.
And I cleaned it top to bottom. Did the whole thing in it. It's beautiful now. Completely clean. And yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
All right. Funny enough, I thought I would see more Nintendo consoles with infested with insects and stuff. But if you think about it, you got the Switch, right, which is a handheld, so that probably wouldn't be infested with a lot of stuff, right? It's not big; it's smaller in size, right, and scope. And nobody bought the Wii U.
Yeah. You're gonna. That's a fair point.
So, right. So, I don't think. Yeah, it would have to be like the GameCube or the N64. That would be like. I wouldn't think the Wii would be infested with anything.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many Wiis I have in my place, but they all look clean. They all look good.
Okay. All right. That's good. All right. I got to get my wrestling references in whenever I can, because I'm a big wrestling fan. I want to talk about wrestling more than more on the show. I know you're not a big wrestling fan.
It's an open forum. I don't know how much. If you're looking at the video,
if you're looking at the video portion of this, you see I got WWE 2K23 Xbox One version, the confusing Xbox One version behind me. WrestleMania 38 just happened last week, right? And the big news from WrestleMania, not that Stone Cold Steve Austin made a comeback just for one last match.
Did he?
Against Austin Theory, and then he stunned the worst stunner Vince McMahon ever took and never in his life, and he's like 76 years old. He did, and that was big news. But Cody Rhodes made his way back to WWE after helping Tony Khan and the Young Bucks start AEW. He did come back to the WWE to face Seth Rollins, and he beat Seth Rollins. Spoilers if you haven't watched WrestleMania last week.
I haven't, Dan. I can't watch it now. It's all ruined, even though it's all predetermined ahead of time.
Yeah. Watch yourself.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just, for those of you who didn't know, it's predetermined.
But if you know anything about Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes' youngest son, he loves The Legend of Zelda. He's a big Legend of Zelda fan. He loves the series. And Corey Graves, who also is a video gamer. Side note, wrestling or wrestlers, younger wrestlers who are now like prominent in the company, grew up with video games just like we did because we're all around the same age, right? It's except for you because you're like 65. You're around Vince McMahon's age.
92. Get it right.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on now.
All right. And Undertaker recently famous, and I love the Undertaker who just got into the Hall of Fame. Famously said, wrestlers nowadays are too worried about playing video games than working on their characters or something along those lines. And that's a generational thing. I'm not going to hold it against him. That's a generational thing. Right. I mean, it's a generational thing because I'm sure the Undertaker didn't play himself in WWF Arcade.
Oh my God!
When it came out, he should have, but he didn't. But I know he didn't. Wrestlers nowadays, it's so intertwined with pop culture. Right, like pop culture references in wrestling have sort of, just made this connection more so now than ever. I know Razor Ramon was sort of a spoof of Scarface, which Vince McMahon famously never even saw Scarface, right? Because he's not in tune with pop culture of the time. He had no idea.
How do you not even see a trailer? How do you not know? It's him. Say hello to my little friend. Right?
He said, this Chico thing. I like this. This is cool. Right? Razor Ramon. Yeah. Rest in peace to Scott Hall. But we see this influx of pop culture and video. I mean, Up, Down, Down started by Xavier Woods, right? Of the New Day, which Up, Down, Down technically is owned by WWE. Right. Which we found out recently where they weren't really paying him any extra money for running it, and he sort of stopped running it, and then they had to pay him, and he's continuing to run it.
Yeah, that's crazy, weird. Right? They own all the rights, yet he's not getting paid for the. No, I mean it's one or the other.
Yeah. So he got it off the ground, millions of followers, Up, Down, Down, right? But everybody they play video games. It's weird. If you watch Up, Down, Down, you'll see people who you never thought would play video games playing video games on that channel. So a lot of pop culture references. And even a New Day came out as the Ginyu Force at WrestleMania 32.
Nice. Little Dragon Ball reference.
Yeah, Dragon Ball reference. But Corey Graves, who's a heel announcer on WWE, used to be a wrestler in NXT. I think he got hurt and he couldn't wrestle anymore or something along those lines. And he's sort of a heel announcer. Heel, if you don't know, babyface is good guy. Heel is a bad guy. Sometimes he's a tweener, by the way, which is like an in-between, right? Sometimes he's like heel or babyface. Okay. Yeah, he's a tweener. They call it a tweener.
That's an interesting. Okay. I didn't know that.
When he knows, I'm sure he knew that Cody Rhodes, after a 6-year absence creating AEW, came back to WWE, was a big Zelda fan. And right in the middle of the broadcast of him facing Seth Rollins, he made an Ocarina of Time reference. Straight took it from the game. And he said, the flow of time is always cruel. And the thing that doesn't change with time is just a memory of younger days. Now, only hardcore Zelda fans would probably, know that was from an Ocarina of Time reference, right?
I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known. I haven't even beat that game, to be honest.
There's a famous quote from Sheik in Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
And, so Cody Rhodes, funny enough, I didn't know this until we started talking about, this whole quote with with the Ocarina of Time and stuff. I didn't know I knew he was a big Zelda fan, but I didn't know he customized his gear to have Zelda references. He has the Triforce on his boots, and I didn't realize that.
Okay,
like that's pretty subtle. So he's a big Zelda fan.
Super respect. Yeah.
So I respected Cody Rhodes when he left WWE to get on his journey to start AEW. But now I respect the man even more because he's a Zelda fan and has the Triforce on his boots. So, Dave, it's about that time. As we always try to start the show but epically fail. What have you been playing?
Oh, I got back into Deathloop for the PS5, and I love it. I'm glad I got back into it.
Okay.
I didn't realize that I still had a ways to go before I finished the first day or a day, right? Because there's 4 different parts to the day. There's morning, noon, afternoon, and
you got a long
evening.
way to go, my friend. You got a long way to go.
I do. But once you get through the 4 times a day, then they like kind of show you a little more behind the curtain about how you can like organize and like you can pick which areas you want to go around to, because certain things happen at certain times a day, and you have to get clues to figure out where the 8 assassins are. And some of them will move from area to area at certain times a day. So you kind of have to like plan out the route, because you have to beat the game within 1 day. So you can go to, there's 4 different times you can go to, you get to pick 4 different places to go to. And then, once you get all the information, you figure out where everybody is, what their weaknesses are, what their proclivities are. You get a whole like dossier of like, here's this character, and they like throwing parties, and they like whatever, and so you get all that info, and then you're like, I'm going to plan the attack, I'm going to do it, and then you're going to go through, and then so once you successfully kill all of the 8 assassins in a single run, that's game. But you're right. I got a while to go. To go. It's a lot, but it's so good. It's so good. And Colt and Juliana, the like back and forth, it's awesome. And you pick up this thing called a hackamajig, which is basically a radio.
Is that the name?
It's literally called a hackamajig. And
is that the name? A hackamajig?
It's a hackamajig. It's a radio, and it's like it's a hacking device in one. It's like called a hackamajig. But Juliana uses that to communicate with you. So every time you go to a different time of day or like a new run or whatever, Juliana will speak to you, and it comes out the PlayStation speaker, right? Because you would have it on your hip or whatever, right? You'd have it next to you. So instead of it coming out of the TV, her voice comes out of the speaker. So
I just want to know when in September, August, when the exclusivity is up and it comes out on Xbox, where is that? Where is her voice going to come from? Because the Xbox controller doesn't have a speaker.
Yeah, it's just probably not. They'll just have it come out of the TV. It'll be fine.
No, it won't be fine. It'll be the best experience on the PS5.
Oh, look! No, it is amazing. I love it. When people do it right. I love when they did it in Death Stranding with the baby. When the baby cried, it would come out of the speaker, right? You got to shake and rock the controller to soothe the baby. Yeah, it's good stuff. So how about you? What have you been playing?
I've only been, honestly, because of the issues with my house, right? The damage to my house, and I had to really try to fix it up. I haven't had really much time to game. The only thing I've played is WWE 2K22 on the Xbox Series X, but like the Xbox One version. I really don't like the fact that you have to hold down the left stick if you want entrances. Like half the game of half the point of playing WWE games is the entrance. You want the music, you want to see them come out. Right? That was the thing that we didn't get when we were younger, when we were kids. Speaking of WWF arcade, what Razor Ramon I had talked about earlier, right? Where you didn't get that, you just got the music and you got the picture, but you didn't get the entrance.
Right.
Right. So that's the main thing of like the games that we got sort of in the N64, right? Like those N64 games, like the main difference between those games and prior games is we got the entrances. We got the NWO music with WCW versus NWO. We got the Rock and Stone Cold entrance, and you know the best wrestling game to me of all time is WWF. WrestleMania 2000.
Sure.
We got from THQ, which is really Ukes. We got those entrances, right, which made that made wrestling games to another stratosphere because we got the music that went along, with the character. And when I first played the game, and I think I said, I was like, man, I don't know what the entrances are, and I didn't realize it was you had to hold down. It was automatically off,
right?
Which I think is a detriment. You should be able to turn it off, which I would never turn it off. Who is going to play this game and not want the entrance for whatever wrestlers? Whatever battle they're about to hit.
Yeah,
so that
you
doesn't
definitely
make any sense to me.
You want to see him at least once or twice, right? And you're like,
it should be turned on automatically, and you can turn it off. But it's the other way around. It's off, and you have to turn it on. That makes no sense. No sense. Game of Grief.
Yeah.
311.
Okay. Oh, here you go. Mark it down, baby. Mark it down. I'll do you even one better. After you play like a match or two, they should give you a prompt to say, hey, do you want to keep these on or do you want to turn them off? Right? A little thing that like pops up as like enhanced user experience maybe, right?
You mean entrances?
Yeah. They give you a little like pop up in the corner, and then you can say yes or no, and then you can obviously go back into the menu and change it anytime you want. But like, you play like 2 or 3 matches, and you're like, hey, do you want to keep seeing these intros or whatever? Yeah, I want to keep seeing these intros, right?
Well, it would make sense if you already had the match and it's turned off, and you got to turn it on if you want to see the intro again. It doesn't make sense if this is the first time just getting into the game, and you're getting a single match or whatever match you want to play, and it's automatically turned off. It doesn't make any sense. Half the appeal of a wrestling game is the entrance. I want to see Roman Reigns with the with the music and he's lifting the belt, and Paul Heyman or Brock Lesnar with the pyro. Like, that's half the appeal of playing a wrestling game.
Right. There's a lot of it's a lot of spectacle.
Pop and circumstance.
A lot of pop and circumstance, right? There's a lot of fireworks and explosions. Yeah,
that's half the appeal of playing the game. I can't imagine playing a wrestling game now that doesn't have an intro. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, with that said, why don't we take a break? When we come back, we'll get to the top gaming news of the last week. And we're back. Let's get into the top gaming news of last week. But first, we're gonna get into the top gaming news of last week. Before we get into that, I want to say, Dave, I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I thought maybe I would put this on the Saturday morning retro show, but I can't wait any longer. I will convince Dave at some point this year that the original Xbox was awesome, because Dave doesn't think so. It is one of the top 3 most underrated games of consoles of all time. All right, it had exclusive awesome games like Furious Karting, made by Atari. Funny enough, only on the original Xbox, and it's the most extreme kart racing challenge ever. Okay, you can speed through the city streets of shopping malls, insane fantasy tracks, and more. Furious Karting. If if you're if you're a collector,
I want this to be a new segment. I want you every week to pull out a game from your collection and go, I'm going to convince Dave this week's game is this. And you got to, come on. You got to, oh my God, Furious Karting. You know what?
Furious Karting, made by Atari.
Only on Xbox.
Only.
All right, Xbox exclusive. You know, Dan, you've this new information has come to light. All right, I need to reevaluate my whole worldview based on this. Furious Karting.
If you're a kart racing fan and you're an Xbox player, you get
that's
Furious
right.
Karting.
That's right. Mario Kart? What's that? All right. It's like
who cares about Crash Team Racing? Who cares about Mario Kart?
It's the Drake meme, right? It's the Drake meme. He's got his hand out and he's like, nah, I don't want the Mario Kart. And then looking at the Furious Kart
Furious
racing?
Karting.
Mm-hmm.
Furious Karting. Mm-hmm. It is, according to the box, the most extreme kart racing challenge ever. Okay?
I mean, it says it on the box.
It says it right there.
Right? Truth in advertising. It's important.
Made by Atari. And guess what? If Xbox buys Atari, if Microsoft buys Atari, they have their own kart racing franchise.
We get an HDR upgrade for Furious Karting on Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, the value.
You have your own kart racing franchise. You can add Master Chief, you can add Phoenix, you can add Marcus
Phoenix in there, right? Yeah.
You can add
JD and the whole bunch. I mean, come on.
You can add JD, you can add everybody.
Could add the characters from Fusion Frenzy in there. I mean, come on.
There you go. See, now you're thinking. You can add Senua from Senua's Sacrifice. You can add her.
There you go. Well, you could technically any of the characters from Bethesda. I mean, come on.
There you go. The Doom guy could be in a kart racing game.
Furious Karting Redux. There you go. This is the game.
Yeah. You got the name too. Look at
that. Oh. Jesus.
Oh, I had to do that. I just bought that. I didn't know that was
my God, that's fantastic.
I
didn't pay more than $1 for it.
I definitely paid more than $1 for it.
Well, hopefully not more than $2.
All right. Let's get to top gaming news of last week. We can start with our lead story, which isn't Furious Karting, which is great, by the way. Epic officially launches Unreal Engine 5. Right? We've seen the demo last year at E3, right? Mm-hmm. It pretty much is an enhanced performance and upgrade to the UI. People, the significant changes that come from the handheld, a handful of technologies designed for more prolific visuals. It's definitely a visual upgrade mostly than anything else, which is what we want.
There's a lot of visual stuff. Yeah,
current gen experience, I should say. I almost said next gen experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I mean, the visuals are crazy. Like, we saw the demo of Lumen and Nanite, right? Which was the lighting engine, and Nanite was like the geometry stuff, right? Where you could have like these crazy detailed objects and that look like they had a lot of polygons, and I think they do, but they have a weird compression technology that allows it to like not take up a lot of memory and space, but still be like super high fidelity. So when they had like the girl walking through the cave and all that, and then they were like showing the real-time lighting, like we can move the light around different times of day, right? The intensity of the light, and everything was changing on like real time. It was all real-time lighting. That was amazing. And now that's like out for developers to play with, right? The engine is out, which is awesome. And there's also some other stuff too, right? It's got a Quixel Bridge integration, right? Quixel is like a media repository for super high res assets, mega textures, and whatever else. So you can link your, I guess, Quixel account to it. You'll be able to like pull in assets like right away. And also there's like the Unreal Marketplace where you can get assets. I know some of them you may have to pay for, but I'm sure a lot of it's going to be free. You can just pull in like actors and models and characters, and this is like boom, boom, boom. I want to put this inside my game. And I thought it was cool because like it ships with the game, right?
Well, it ships sort of with multiplayer. They say game, but it's like a multiplayer, mostly demo, right?
Sure.
I don't think it's a full game, but it's mostly for for them to get the sense of what's going on and how they can work, their own game. I forgot the name of it. Is it Lyra multiplayer game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a first-person shooter or third-person shooter, I guess. You can see the person behind you, but they kind of go through the demo and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna make this platform here," and they show you how to do it in a couple clicks and how you can like put down a set of stairs and then you can kind of morph it on the fly, right? So you don't have to like sit there and meticulously like 3D render stuff. You can just put in this like primitive thing and just start moving it around, and it's super easy to do. And they were like dropping in like textures and colors and whatever, and it all kind of like the lighting all worked in real time. So like it was like now you have like a red platform, right? Now you have a green stripe platform.
So I mean, we saw some of this with the Matrix demo that was out on the PS5 and on the Xbox Series X, right? Like I downloaded it. It looked amazing.
Yeah.
It's literally a demo because you're just running around as Neo around this world. There's really nothing to do, right? Not gonna lie, if 2005 me had this demo, this would be a game because this was awesome. It the demo itself, or just the walk around in the world is awesome. Even if there's nothing to do, this would be. If this was 2005, this would have blown my mind, right?
Oh my god, yeah, it's crazy.
But we know that Xbox, a lot of Xbox first party studios are taking advantage of Unreal Engine 5, right? Like just notably Double Fine, the Coalition, are taking going to take advantage of Unreal Engine 5. The Coalition, I would assume, with Gear 6, right?
Oh yeah, of course. That's it's like designed for that, right?
Yeah. Haven Studios, which just got purchased by my PlayStation, right? They've said that their next game will be Unreal Engine 5, which is a multiplayer game. CD Projekt Red said the next Witcher game will take advantage of this as well, which is awesome.
Yep.
I would say my only drawback, and it's not really a negative in the sense of I want it now, right? Like everybody wants it now. If it's just being released now in April of 2022, that means the earliest we'll see what developers can do with this engine at its fullest would be at least another 2 to 3 years, right? At least 2025. All these games are going to come out in 2025. I'm not as patient as I used to be. I want these games now because I've had these consoles for a year. Well, people have had them obviously for about a year and a half. We want to see the next gen now, but obviously because of the pandemic and the engine only being released now, which is probably caused by the pandemic, right? That we're gonna have to wait another 2-3 years to reap the benefits, which is why I think this generation is gonna last a little bit longer than people think. People thought originally that this generation would be at least 5 to 6 years. I think it'll be at least 7 to 8 years because of the pandemic. The zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, so you're right. I mean, game development only getting longer, games are getting bigger. Pandemic exacerbated the whole situation, right? That's a whole thing. But I mean, there is some kind of good news, right? Obviously, internally, Epic has had this for a while, so they now have Fortnite has now been upgraded to use Unreal Engine 5, and they did say that there's not a performance hit to it, right? So that's amazing, right? You're able to kind of port your game from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5, right? And I don't think it necessarily like looks. Maybe there's some small visual improvements, but more or less it's the same. But it's really kind of getting it on the new system or the new engine, right?
Okay. Well, the biggest announcement we got from this whole showcase was a new Tomb Raider game was announced. The new Tomb Raider game is in development with Unreal Engine 5. I'm going to assume it's a new trilogy because we got the trilogy with the sort of, last gen consoles and it was okay. It wasn't, wasn't great. It wasn't amazing. It was really good. Right. But I don't think people thought like it was amazing. I can see, and then when we saw the whole demo of Unreal Engine 5 at the PlayStation Showcase, it looked like an Uncharted / Tomb Raider game, right? Like that whole experience, I can see being Uncharted or Tomb Raider, because since Uncharted was sort of a gift of, Tomb Raider. So, that makes sense. I can see that, and I'm looking forward to it. I have no patience. I don't want to wait another I'm not playing Fortnite. I don't want to wait another 2 to 3 years to see the fruits of the labor.
Dan, this isn't the only game engine out there, right? You know that other companies are putting out games as we speak.
I know. All right.
So
you don't Ratchet and Clank. I can't think of the name of the engine that Ratchet and Clank is on. But that's an amazing engine. And I know Sony's really touting that too.
Sure.
Which is why Xbox. Sure. Is really on Unreal Engine 5 bandwagon because Sony has, their own engines. But this was touted as something like that's a big deal, and I want to see it now. Sure. Like I want to play it now. Like I want to play it next year. I don't want to wait another 2-3 years.
Sure. The one thing that has me a little kind of, this is with anything, right, is that if everyone's using the same engine, the games are going to look similar. They're going to have a similar look to them, right? Even if you do your own, art direction, art style, and you kind of go left field and whatever else, the lighting works in a certain ways and all the kind of, the way the shadow maps work and the the message and the textures and all that. We're going to get a lot of games that have that kind of gritty post-apocalyptic futuristic like Gears of War. We're gonna get a lot of games that have that kind of shine and look like that.
I understand.
Which we'll see. Maybe they'll be able to do some really wild things and kind of make them look visually distinct from each other, so you can't say, oh, this is made with Unreal Engine 5, but it is gonna be awesome once they get some real games out.
All right. Well, talking about Tomb Raider, let's shift gears a little bit. Days Gone director Jeff Ross has now joined Crystal Dynamics as a design director, and Crystal Dynamics is making the next Tomb Raider game. We don't know if he's working on the next Tomb Raider game because Crystal Dynamics is also working as a support studio for Microsoft on Perfect Dark.
Yep.
Right. So. Yep. I thought this was interesting. Game director Jeff Ross and writer-director John Garvin, the two most senior creative, people at off the top of my head, I cannot think of the studio that made Days Gone. But they worked on Days Gone. They announced a departure from Sony back in December of 2020, right? And they've been senior members of the studio working at Sony, because they worked on the Siphon Filter sequels. They have made their way to Crystal Dynamics, and we don't know what projects they work on. Maybe Crystal Dynamics is not just working on Tomb Raider, not just working as support for Perfect Dark. They're working on maybe another game. I doubt it because I don't know how big they are. But now I am really excited for this next Tomb Raider game. I'm really excited on top of my excitement already for Perfect Dark, because I thought Perfect Dark we would see something by now, but now I'm thinking we're not going to see anything for another 2 years. Especially since it's going to be on Unreal Engine 5. Yeah. I thought Days Gone was really good. I didn't think it was great. That was really good. It came out maybe 2-3 years too late. Right, for that zombie apocalypse genre, and I think the issue. I think that I think the unique thing of Days Gone, and I think Days Gone is underrated, by the way. The unique thing of Days Gone is you can use the zombies as a weapon. Right. All right, you can use the zombies to distract or clear out. Areas where you need to be cleared out so you can go in and do whatever you got to do. right? Like they weaponize zombies instead of making zombies the main focus of the game.
Right,
So
right.
they're like an afterthought. Like, yeah, we know zombies are the world, right? Now it's the mercenaries and the bad guys of the world that you have to like defeat. So I think my only issue with Days Gone is something that is unique that other people didn't think was an issue, and that's the motorcycle. Like, you have to upgrade the motorcycle. You're gonna run out of gas, and you're gonna have to fix it in real life scenarios. You got to fix your transportation. I thought that should have been the one constant thing for me because I like more linear games, right?
Right.
So I thought that was an issue for me, but the zombies itself was an afterthought in Days Gone.
Yeah.
It was about 2 years too late. 2 years too late.
On that too. Yeah. I feel you.
But Days Gone is an underrated game. Days Gone was a great game. And if it would have came out on Microsoft instead of PlayStation, I think that would have been Microsoft's big first person game in the world where you can use zombies.
No, would have been a live service game, multiplayer.
It would have been a live service game. Yeah. Right?
Everyone's running around the world beating up zombies.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. All right, let's shift focus to Max Payne. Right, I have never played a Max Payne game. I have all 3 games.
No,
I have all 3 games. I even have the Game Boy Advance game, which is touted as a hidden gem because it's obviously totally different than the console versions of the Max Payne games.
So, you've never experienced the constipation phase of Max Payne?
No, I haven't.
Because he's got it straight up like he's really got to go to the bathroom.
I've never experienced that, but it looks like Remedy Entertainment has entered into a new development agreement with Rockstar where there will be sort of remaking Max Payne 1 and 2 into a single title for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. There's no word of Max Payne 3, which was fully developed by Rockstar by themselves. So, and this will be a typical Remedy game, the typical Remedy AAA production sort of, game. So it's going to have that AAA experience. It's not, sort of a budget title or have the feel of a budget title like the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. Right.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Let's not have that. Well, I mean, Remedy was the original developer, right? So I mean, it's good to see them wanting to come back and do it. So you feel like it's less of a cash grab and more of a hey, this would be great. I think the fans would want it type situation.
But just like I said with Unreal Engine 5, you gotta have you have a little bit of patience because currently it's in a concept development stage. So this is not something we're going to see for another 2 years. Right, this is something we're seeing in 2024.
Yeah, and
I'm willing to wait. I waited this long to play any of the Max Payne games. I'm willing to wait.
What
2 years.
Is there any other course of action? We can't not wait.
I could just play the Max Payne games on the original consoles, but
I see. Yeah,
I'm
could.
choosing to wait to get my Max Payne experience on the remake.
They still kind of hold up. I think. I mean, it was the first game that had bullet time in a video game, right? The Matrix, really kind of hey, here's this new visual storytelling element, not storytelling, but visual effects element. It's going to be amazing. It's going to change the industry, and it did. And then Remedy comes along and goes, we could make a video game that has that, and there you go. And then every game after that for the next 10 years had bullet time.
Okay. I can wait for my experience.
Okay.
I can wait.
Okay.
All right. Well, we know there's not going to be E3. We know IGN and Jeff Keighley are going to have their summer of games, right? The experience. We know Gamescom is happening, right? Sort of in August, and we know PAX West is happening at the end of August. That's still happening, but we don't know if the big 3 are going to happen at any point. We're going to have a showcase at any point in the summer. I hope so. I really do.
Oh,
but we do know THQ Nordic has announced that they're going to have Summer Games Showcase in August, which I think is a mistake. Shouldn't be in August. We know Gamescom, which is going to be half in person, half digital event, right? is going to be in August, and that's like the
Yeah,
biggest showcase in August historically. So I wouldn't want to go against them. I guess if they're going early August, it wouldn't matter, right? Because you should have the floor to yourself. And if there's not going to be E3, you can announce anything in July or in June and have like that week to yourself. It's going to be August 12th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Do you not think they'll have a strong enough showing to compete? Because that's the question.
I don't know if they're going to have a strong enough showing. I'll be honest. I mean, in the trailer, they showed that a new SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake and Outcast 2, the New Beginning, right, in Saints Row, which I forgot that's coming out in August. So that's why they're going to show it in August.
Yep.
Right. So that could be a reason. Yeah, that could be a reason why. Anything not named Time Splitters, I will be excited for because everybody wants Time Splitters. Everybody's looking for Time Splitters. I totally forgot that they announced a new SpongeBob game, which is what was going to be one of my, choices for what would you want to see from THQ Nordic that's not named Time Splitters. I was going to say a new SpongeBob game, right? But I forgot that they had SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake. So that's already
They just did the remake of Bikini Bottom, right? Battle for Bikini Bottom. So people want SpongeBob games. For sure.
People do love SpongeBob games for whatever reason. I mean, it's a great. It's a good
a fun game is a fun game, right? SpongeBob is a great TV
generation.
Show. Yeah, it's a great.
It was. It was. Yeah, it was. I don't know if it's still running now.
Oh, it still holds up. Still holds up today. But I mean, I was just kind of running through, like, looking at the acquisitions that they made just within last year. They made Microsoft moves last year in terms of the amount of studios that kind of got into the fold. And if you ask me what I would want to see, because they acquired 3D Realms, give us another Duke Nukem. Make it happen.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Duke Nukem. Why not? We got a piss poor Duke Nukem in 2014, maybe 2013, 2014. That, it was never going to live up to the hype. But could have been a competent first person shooter.
You know what? That's a good choice. Right. I'm a big Duke Nukem fan. I 100% of Duke Nukem as a kid. Okay, 100%. I would love to see, since they put out remakes for the first one, and there's rumors that they're remaking the second one. I would love to see a new Destroy All Humans.
Oh, okay.
Which technically is a licensed franchise, I think, because I remember Destroy. I think it's a licensed franchise, right? Because was it Mars or was it Destroy Humans with Jack Nicklaus in the early 2000s?
Oh no! That's Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks, right?
Yeah,
it was a spin. It was a spin-off of Mars Attacks, right? Come on, it was a spin-off of Mars Attacks. It was,
in a way, maybe, yeah.
In
a way,
I would love to see a Destroy All Humans 3.
Yeah.
If that's the case,
okay.
Put it that way.
I could see that.
Okay. Let's talk about Need for Speed, because we haven't talked about Need, to be honest, in a long time. EA is not having EA Play this year, right? So because they have nothing to show. There are reports coming from Giant Bomb that the next Need for Speed game will reportedly be a current gen only game. It will not be a PS4 Xbox One crossover. It would only be PS5 and Xbox Series X. Which I really want. I really do want it, but I didn't think it would come this soon. I would think it would come in 2023. Usually, you have that crossover gen for the next 2 years because you already have so many people that are invested in the prior generation consoles, right? Especially PS4 is like over the second best selling console of all time, home console of all time. So you would think that they would still want to cater to that audience, but apparently the next Need for Speed will only be a PS5, Xbox Series X console, generation.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to think how many cross-generation games for Need for Speed are there?
Well, the last two Need for Speed games, the last one was Heat, if I'm not mistaken. That was 2019, so that was before current gen.
Heat and then Payback before that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was before current gen. So we didn't really get any cross-gen Need for Speed games at all.
Yeah,
right?
I'm actually looking at the list right now. There were a couple. Rivals was cross-generation. PS3, PS4, 360, Xbox One.
Well, no, I was talking about cross. There was no cross-gen with current gen, PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's interesting because, like, sales numbers... console availability is what it is, right? It's getting better. Is it... I mean, obviously it seems like there's enough consoles out there that EA is confident that it can sell the number of, units to make it worthwhile, to make it current gen only. Because if they can't make those numbers up, then they would totally say, okay, it's going to be PS4, Xbox One as well. Right, it would be a cross-generational title. So obviously, when they're projecting the game to come out, they're projecting X amount of consoles that are out there in the wild and X amount of attach rates to the console. So that'll kind of make up for the lack of previous gen sales. So, I mean, I'm curious to see what they do with it. Right, Payback was kind of interesting, I think, with kind of like the heist mechanic and the whatever else. Like they were trying to do some different stuff. And they're always fun games. I could use a nice arcadey Need for Speed game. So,
well, Criterion is back helming, for the next Need for Speed game, and EA, Ubisoft, don't make it an annual series, 2-3 year turnaround, or maybe. Like Call of Duty with Activision, maybe have different studios, have like a 3-year turnaround, right? Like that's what's needed, not the same.
Well, yeah, you're gonna get burnout.
Yeah,
which I say that
which is one of the best games in Need for Speed series.
Burnout. Yeah. You gotta really you get into the Assassin's Creed grind where it's like, oh, another Assassin's Creed game. It's the same as the last one, just with a different fresh coat of paint.
I know.
And it's not even that great of a coat of paint for some of them. So you're right. Spread it out a little bit, right? Do Battlefield and then do a Need for Speed, and then do a whatever, right? Cycle them around every couple of years, stagger them out.
Yeah. All right. So, I like to end on a goofy or, something different note. And this is weird. It's weird for me to say this, but 343 Industries has announced a Halo cookbook, which is weird because there is nothing about Halo that says cooking. It's not like Zelda where you have recipes. This is a Halo cookbook that has over 70 recipes and it's releasing in August. And I thought this was an April Fool's joke. This was going to be part of an April Fool's episode. But this is actually real. This is real. And a Halo cookbook.
I am going to say this with very high confidence because I have played every one of the Halo games, right?
Okay.
Never been a recipe or food or anything talked about in any of the video games. Books are a different story, I'm sure, because they got a lot of pages to fill, and I read a couple of them. They don't mention food. What are you?
Well, you know what?
What are you gonna cook?
Well, you know what?
Master
Chief needs to eat. He never takes his helmet off in the games, but he does it's not real life because this is a fictional character. But he does technically in his universe take his helmet off to eat because he does need to eat because he's still human. He's a modified human, but he's still human. This is so hilarious, right? Like we're on the helms of the TV show that people think is okay. It's not great. It's okay. It's okay. Right? Like I want to see it, but I don't have Paramount Plus because there's so many different streaming services and I have to get Disney Plus with Hulu and ESPN.
Hold on. You have Games Pass, right?
I do have Games Pass.
Okay, you get like 3 months free of Paramount Plus, so you can just watch the Halo series.
I'm not even gonna try. Well, you know what?
You're not even gonna try. Oh, this guy.
I'll wait till you do it. I'll wait till you do it. Wait till you do it.
I've been watching it.
Is it good?
Then
you tell me. Is it good? Is it good? Is it good?
Yes, it is. It is. I'll talk a little more about it next episode. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just, I don't know if I want the Arbiter's chili recipe or, the Halo's Cuban sandwich. Master Chief's Cuban sandwich. But I don't know if there's recipes that Halo, right? Because that's like saying, there's an Uncharted cookbook and maybe there's a Kirby cookbook because Kirby eats everything. So there got to be a Kirby cookbook.
Right. Like how do you theme it, right? Like,
I know.
I'm looking at the cover right now, and it looks like some tasty food, but it looks like just like churros and burgers and like a paella.
It's just churros and burgers. Okay. There you go.
It's like
it's just a cookbook with the Halo skin on it. There we go.
It's exactly right. Recipes from across the galaxy. So, you mean from around the world? Because there's nothing in the books.
So Dave, all right, that's it for the stories. Dave, you got any good weekend plans?
Yeah, I'm starting my own cookbook. It's it's gonna be the Rated G cookbook. And oh god, no.
I just want to know the Rated G's recipe for chicken, rice and beans.
There you go, man. There you go. Lots of spices. That's the secret. No, I'm gonna be playing some more of the Death Loop and make my way to beating the loop.
Okay.
It's
right. Well, you know what? If you didn't listen to the episode, if you didn't listen to the early part of the episode, I might be playing Furious Karting, the best karting game on the original Xbox. It's only on Xbox. Okay, it is the most extreme karting racing challenge ever.
Oh my god!
This may be what I'll be playing.
Oh my god!
For the weekend, Who knows? And maybe I'll do it as a Saturday morning retro show. Maybe as a spoof, I'll do nothing but Xbox only games for the Saturday morning retro show going forward for this year. Who knows? But I will be picking. You're gonna
run out of steam after 2 episodes. Dan, you're gonna go. What the hell am I gonna play now?
There's so many Xbox only games. You don't even know.
That doesn't mean they're good. Just because it's only on Xbox. There's a lot of exclusive PlayStation 2 games.
It says Furious. It's Furious karting, not just karting. It's Furious.
You're not
karting.
wrong. They even have flames behind it. I mean, they really kind of drive the point home that it's really furious. Oh my god!
It's up to 4 players, multiplayer. Okay, and you can use special moves, pickups, and tricks to defeat your rival racers.
I feel like
head-to-head a competition in a race for domination. Develop your own racing style and lead your team to victory. This is on the packaging.
I feel like this is Christmas morning. Little Dan Robinson wakes up under the Christmas tree, opens up a package, and he sees Furious Karting, and he's like reading all about it on the back.
Yeah, reading all about it, man. Come on, it's Xbox
I love it.
Only.
Xbox
only.
Oh my god, you're making a strong case, Dan. You're making a strong case. I may have to get a copy of this. I may pay upwards of $3 for it. I may buy a copy myself.
Well, it's about $7, but it's the best. It's the best kart racing on the original Xbox, and probably the only kart racing on the original Xbox because it's Furious Kart Racing. Okay, and if you didn't hear me 2 minutes ago, it's the most extreme kart race challenge ever.
There you go. That's
probably what I'm going to be doing for Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Mm-hmm. I haven't made a decision yet.
Okay. Well, there you go, folks. That was episode 311, and boy, was it fantastic. There's a lot of stuff I did not expect in that episode. And we want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us and tell us how good or bad Furious Karting is, You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. You can check out all the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.